So in terms of the Making Ripples event and this introduction, here's a picture of Kath, for those of you that haven't met her. As I say, Kath and Liz originally were going to be the main facilitators, and we've got three hopes for today's session. Our first hope was that the technology wouldn't let us down. So if you are having particular problems at your end with the sound, we have suggested trying to log back in via Chrome. I'm not sure that is helping, but it sometimes does. It is a bit less glitchy. But we hope that you will enjoy the sessions today, that you'll gain new insights, and that you will feel able to question, comment, and reflect. So both through the chat box here, and then at the end at 4 o'clock when we do the question and answer session. Just to get us warmed up a little bit this morning, normally we would be having our coffees, I think, and our croissants at the start of this event, and that's what we had planned when we originally conceived of this event. We'd booked large lecture theatres with a space outside, so just to pretend that you're actually, you know, relaxing with your coffee and you're just settling down into this event. I want you to spend just a moment thinking about what percentage of the UK population would you say have autistic spectrum condition? Just have a think about what the proportion of people is, or what that number might be. Some of you are experts in this field perhaps already, or if you're not experts, you've got experience in this field and you might have an idea. But we thought we'd start by setting that context a little bit. So if you want to chat your put your answers, your estimates in the chat box, please feel free. You might decide that you don't want to risk it in case you're way off. But I will tell you the answer in a minute anyway, to give you the context. I'll just give you a couple of seconds to have a think about that.
Good as well to see a couple of people connecting through the chat as well.
Yeah. I was just thinking, Liz, as well, it's good that we've got lots of different people here today. We've got careers professionals, we've got academics, we've got some percentages coming through here.
Yeah.
People
We've got 25, we've got 5, we've got 20, we've got 33, 35, 50, 60. Anyone want to do a bit of a higher or a lower? We've got some of the extremes. 40%, 38%. Just a few more people in the chat there coming through. Someone's raised their hand as well.
Rob,
are you wanting to speak, Rob? Because we'll have to ask Gary to put your mic on, or could you put it in the chat? We've got 25%, we've got 10%, 25%. A few more people in the chat.
if you're struggling to find how the chat works, I did mean to say that. So just at the side of the slides, you'll see all the chat coming up now, and you just type in the box that's got the little speech bubble in it. That's where you put your actual responses, you know, in the box underneath where all the other chats are coming in. Okay, so it looks like we've got some estimates there. I think I haven't seen one that's actually right yet. The actual figures from the National Autistic Society say that approximately 700,000 people are on the autistic spectrum living in the UK. So as a proportion, that's actually 1 in 100 people. So I think some of your estimates were a little bit higher than that, but you can see from there that this would be, I suppose, maybe figures that the National Autistic Society have gathered of people that have with a diagnosis, and often I think this might be one of the issues that doesn't always, you know, get officially diagnosed, if you will. Another fact from the society is that 70% of those autistic adults don't feel that they get the support that they need, and only 16% of autistic adults in the UK actually have managed to secure full-time work, and 32% are working part-time. So that's really to sort of set the context for you. I'm going to go through these 4 things just now before we get started on to our main speaker. So some housekeeping, why we started this event, give you some insight into our research findings, because one of the things that we have done is our own research here at UCLan, led by Kathleen Doe-Jones, and an insight into the programme today so that you can find a little bit more about what we'll be delivering. So in terms of the housekeeping, you've already learned how to use the chat, many of you, so that's great. So do carry on using that. Take a break whenever you need to. We can't see you or hear you, so leave this running in the background. If you need to go and take a break, come and go as you need to. If you can stay all day, that's absolutely fantastic. If you can make a commitment to come back to the Q&A as well, that would be lovely to see you back there, because we'll have all our speakers gathered together at the end there as well. So do come back for that. We've also got a feedback form. There's a little box at the bottom underneath the chat that says click link and press to browse to. So there's a feedback form there that we would like you to fill in. It asks you which sessions you attended, so we could give us some specific feedback about each session that you attend, but also about the event overall. And then there is also a link to the Making Ripples programme. So if you want to see where we are in the programme and what time things are coming on, if you click on that and then press the Browse To button, it'll open a separate window and you'll be able to see the programme and flick back between the two. So this event really came about because we started to be aware of national statistics. We also had feedback from our UCLan students, and we recognised that there might be issues with them when they were trying to, students within ASC trying to secure employment and manage their studies, etc. And we wondered about that. So that's when we started to, Kathleen Doe-Jones and Liz Dins set up an employability pilot, which was an ASC group. Do you want to just briefly say a bit about that, Liz?
Yeah, so me and Kath had seen a rise in the students accessing us through duty and in appointments, and some of the issues that we identified, and decided that what we would do is to start a pilot where we'd have well, it ended up sort of a monthly meetup. The first one, it was very much driven by them, really. And the first one was in 2019.
Brilliant. Thanks, Liz. Liz is going to speak more about this later on, aren't you, Liz? I'm just giving people an insight into that group. And then, as I say, we were funded to undertake some research through prospects. So Kath has been beavering away for the last 12 months, undertaking research into the perceptions of employers and graduates and students around ASC, and looking at some of the issues that might be surfacing through that research. So in terms of our event, we called it Making Ripples, and we think of that as a stone that you might throw in a river or in a lake that ripples out. And what we're hoping from this is that it will increase the understanding and will be like a ripple through the community and through professionals and through students and graduates in increasing understanding. We also want to share best practice, and that's where we've collated lots of I keep using the word experts, academics, people with knowledge in this area. And we hope that it will be a catalyst for change as well. Some of our key findings, just to highlight some of the things that we found. Our research will be published very soon and will be available to everyone through the AGCAS research outcomes group. But we found that disability confidence does need more promotion amongst our employers. I think only a third of the employers that we surveyed were actually members of that, which is, it replaced the sort of 2-tick scheme and is a commitment to looking at your recruitment and selection and support practices around disability. So we think that probably does need more focus. We think that there is a need to raise the understanding and awareness of ASC, hence this event. And we also want to support employers, because I think there is a need to offer advice, offer encouragement to employers to incorporate recruitment and workplace adaptations. And also that perhaps ASC graduates need to be supported and encouraged to apply for large employers as well as smaller ones. According to our research, we found fewer were working in larger employers. And we all need to advocate reasonable adjustments, I think, in all our environments. So those were just some of the key findings, which we will hopefully share with you all throughout today. I'm going to hand over to Liz now, who's going to talk about some highlights from the programme just before we go into the first session with Joseph Hagan.
Okay, so thank you very much for taking the time to join us again. So we've got some really great speakers. So in relation to students and graduates, we've got Joe Hagan, who's a student, he's an alumni with us, and he's created a video. It's a unique adult perspective, and it's not been seen before, where he captures the things that trigger and bring on meltdowns and the perceived challenges in behaviour. So it's a real spotlight. So we've got that video. We've got Richard, who's one of our alumni as well, who's been part of the Disability Society. He's had placements with Skipton. We've also got Molly, who's also going to talk about the challenges and her strengths in relation to working towards PA. We've got employers. We've got Victoria Reynolds with us from the NHS in Wiston, talking about the programme that was specific. We've got some key academics in the field with us. We've got Beatrix Lopez, Mark Fabry, we've also got Karen and a number of other people with us today. And then we've also got some elements of support with us. We've got our own support. Like here, Carol said, we've got careers advisors from UPlan. We've also got our Wellbeing and Inclusive and Propeller as well. And we've also got a guest speaker, Richard from the head of Cumbria Academy, to come and speak to us as well as an element of support. So they're the 4 elements there that we've highlighted today for the programme.